Just wanted to do this week's broadcast for brainstorming, bundling, and design principles. And let's get started. This is a real interesting week, I should say, because this one is going to be more of a set of drawings that we're actually going to do this week. And I really love to draw. You may not understand a thing that I'm writing, but as far as the drawings, but I'll have a slide that'll cover that. So this week's going to be more of a show and tell about what went into our team thinking as far as brainstorming and the possible solutions as far as what we can apply for information interviews in novel ways. So let the drawing begin. Here we go. So brainstorming, what we wanted to do was approach it from the standpoint of our team wanted to approach it from standpoint what exactly is happening now. So what is, as far as brainstorming, what is the ways that graduating students conduct informational interviews with alumni? So, you know, we really need to find out and drill down. So what we did is we had a few series of drawings. I would draw this out for you real time. I'll give you the summary on this. So basically what we found was there's a connection between students and alumni. There's a gap that's missing. A lot of the students that we interviewed and the alumni we interviewed found that they use, which is number one, LinkedIn, over coffee they get together, by telephone, by email, that kind of thing. And we find what other ways do alumni and students get together. A was a network meeting situation. I've been to alumni meetings with students. Alumni visiting campuses where there's an announcement. Certain alumni will be visiting, usually job fairs, things like that. C would be professors writing recommendation letters to contacts they know already in the work world. So, and the last thing, and I'll go over this in a bit, what we were talking about is sometimes there's technology that you can apply to this, so we'll get to that. So in summary, what we did is we gathered this according to the kind of voting, kind of like what was the predominant ways that we were seeing. It doesn't mean this is scientific. It just means that this is what we're thinking about, how we think about it. One of the ways that is advertised as networking meetings. The larger one is alumni visiting campuses. I know I've seen a number of different alumni where it's announced by teachers, professors, events, things like that, where alumni come on campus and you get a chance to meet with them. Otherwise, you don't have a real chance to interact with them. Recommendations would be another category. And smaller, from the surveys I've done on the LinkedIn seminars for information or interviews, was very few students actually use LinkedIn or any kind of professional social networking program or anything like that to meet up with alumni. So then we went to this next section where we said brainstorming what could be. And the question was, what may be a new way for graduating students to conduct informational interviews with alumni? So with that, we bundle the themes. This is where we're starting to coalesce and kind of seeing what themes we keep coming up with, because we had a lot of different ways, from email to calling to, that kind of thing. But we're saying, what could we do in the future? I think that's the thing. The key solution had to be something we were going to do in the future that had a lot of characteristics of what the future could hold for people, and basically based on how they want to interact with people, whether it face-to-face is A here, or they want to go to network meetings, bigger network meetings as far as alumni and students getting together, maybe more frequent, meetings. Correspondence online, that'd be email, group, chat sessions, that kind of thing, LinkedIn. And then this other one we're saying in the future, it may be more, as you see here, face-to-face and mobile app video chat is the bigger category. We said in the future, people will always have phones in their hands, so why don't we put something together? And that was the theme that we kept coming back to as far as the actual what could happen in the future that's different, okay? So our design principles here that we kind of came away with, and these are just, initial thinking. And our question should be, what thinking in interview conversations would be important to our users? So we're always getting back to what I believe is the most important thing is what is the user's thinking would be very important. And some of the things we kept coming out with, and we've talked to hundreds of students, and some of the things, don't mind me writing here, this is like chicken scratch, but as far as how our team came together and gave different ideas as far as our brainstorming. Communication in real time, scheduling, creating a way to do live interviews, a way to follow up, and a way to teach the method. So what we found was design principles came around these items for our team. a lot of students were interested in scheduling meetings that they have never scheduled before. So scheduling meetings right at the top of the list. So we always have to be mindful. We have to have an effective way in the solution where we can design a way to schedule meetings between alumni and students, and students to alumni. That could be something where, well, I'll go into that later, but the most important thing we're finding is, and in the classroom we teach this, but we're finding there's a lot of research that we're getting back and a lot of feedback where people really want you to teach them about information interviewing. So the component that we have for design principles, that whatever we do, there has to be some kind of instructional component to it. A lot of the other things we were looking at went down to real-time conversations. People have mobile phones, as you do, for all the way from Snapchat to FaceTime to Skype. People want real-time conversations. And the last thing is they want some kind of form of follow-up with alumni. So those were the things that we came across as far as from brainstorming, from bundling, and design principles. So the big idea we had for the team that we're always constantly thinking through is what ideas do we need to enable graduates and students to conduct effective informational interviews. So we're trying to find a way to be more effective. They can be more effective in that. We find information interviews are a key to the big problem of students not getting past the ATS machine, which is the, not ATM machine, but ATS machine, which is the applicant tracking system where the resumes are thrown out. If you can get a personal connection through an alumni to a hiring manager, we found in the research, and we found in students and alumni we've interviewed in other studies, that is the most effective way to get a job. So the big idea is, so if we can get information interviews going, what's the best way we can get it going? So that's how we support our big idea with all the other ways that we were walking through this whole exercise. So with that, see y'all next time. See you next week.